Master Skywalker. There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
The USS Flag aircraft carrier. Imagine being on the deck of this aircraft carrier.
The USS Flag is fantastic! It's so big! Forward, Mcmahon station! Get ready to launch aircraft! Where's the Admiral? Not here! G.I. Joe! Fire! Restart Cobra! Yo, Joe!
USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately.
Yo, Joe!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bayou Geeks. I'm your host, Phatty316. And how y'all been doing this week? This week, we have a special show, special guest. But first, let me bring in my co-host. You know him. You love him. He's the one, the only. If I can find his music. Shit.
every week, he's gonna do this shit.
Oh, my bad, dog.
It's the filibuster every week. Where's the... Have it set up, bro.
Sorry,
Jesus
Max.
Christ.
You're going to have to live without it.
Worst.
It's gone.
Oh,
sorry,
no.
Max. MaximusG420. What's going on?
What up, everybody? That was the worst intro I've ever had. I was so anticlimactic. Jesus Christ.
The Titantron was broke this week, my friend.
Oh,
you
my
just had
God.
to come out to just a crowd, man. Sorry.
Oh, my God. Like, no standing ovation, no nothing. I'm used to hearing people cheering my name. I get all excited now. It's just like, no, we're not going to do that today. We'll edit that later.
Great. Fantastic. I'll edit it in for you. How about that?
You can find it because it's gone.
No, it's in the files. But also joining this week, formerly of Break, I wouldn't say formerly, but now Spitball Media, Mr. B. Show Brian. How you doing, my friend?
I'm amazing, guys. Thanks for having me on. I feel like it's my fault that you biffed the audio intro because you and I were bullshitting before he jumped on. And I don't know, man. I'm off to a great start so far this week. Thanks for having me, though.
Oh, no problem. No problem. You know, I've been wanting to get you on with for a while now. I know I had to cancel, and we went through a couple of growing pains last year. Had to put the show to the bed, reevaluate it. But now you're on. I want to get the other guys on, try to get some other people on. I may even try to pull for Don Tony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a try because, I mean, when that Kevin Castle thing happened, I knew sides were taken and everything, and I really kind of, I took my side. I won't, but everything's good now. I'm listening to them. I'm back on their Patreon now. So everything's good, and maybe I can get them on and we'll talk about it.
Very cool, man. I tell you what, man, Don Tony has helped me when I asked him about equipment at one point or hosting for a podcast. Kevin, I've had him on a few times when I did a podcast. Always been cool. And of course, I stream with John every week, and I've been friends with John since, God, probably going on 6-7 years now, just from being a soup listener, a wrestling soup listener, and then getting to know him personally, and then, you know, him asking me and Sheen to come on board with Spitball Media, or before it was Break the Apocalypse. But no, we talk about, for the shameless plug to get it out of the way, just big stories and entertainment every week. And I think that'll tie into what you said we're going to talk about today. And at Spitball_Media on Twitter. Everything else is at Spitball Media. We stream live Thursday evenings around 9 o'clock. So if you want to jump in and check us out, hang out in the chat. I know Fatty does every once in a while. But yeah, come see us. Check us out.
Just like every pro out there. That was perfect. That was beautiful.
He's been doing it a while.
I know, yeah. I was going to say, very polished. That was perfect. I was like, man, we look like amateurs. Jesus Christ.
I've been doing it to myself in my own room. It's almost like the kid that just has the imaginary friend for way too long.
Narrate your life every time you're walking as he goes to the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning. He knew he shouldn't have had that last scoop of ice cream.
Like what is it, the Family Guy episode with Randy Newman? Lowe's takes a bite of her apple. This place is great, except Randy Newman narrates everything. Gotta get the fuck out of here.
Oh man, yeah, that's I think it was one of those. There was one of those car insurance companies, and they were talking about like, yeah, it's like it's a great neighborhood. It's like, but our neighbors are they're narrators, and it just shows two of the neighbors next door holding like microphones, like they're reporters. And they're like, yeah, seems like they like to mow the lawn too early in the morning. Like they're brushing their teeth. He's like, ooh, dry shaver. He's gonna pay for that in the morning. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, okay, these are some weird commercials, but all right, whatever. If it works, it works.
That'd have to drive you absolutely insane. So they're onto something, I guess.
Yeah. So.
But I got to put Brian through the test real quick, Gary. Oh, Max, sorry.
Oh,
Brian, you're a Star Wars fan, and
absolutely.
every guest we have come on, we ask them the same question. Gary knows where I'm going with this. Brian, who is the chosen one in the Star Wars trilogy?
Star Wars trilogy? Technically Darth Vader. I guess. I mean, that's a tough question because initially it was Darth Vader, and then Luke brings balance to the Force, and then as far as I'm concerned, the sequels didn't really happen. So, I don't know. Good question. I would say Vader, just traditionally speaking, but am I wrong? The way you guys are looking at me, I'm feeling.
We're older. We're serious about this shit.
I'm paranoid, man.
Look, Darth Vader's watching, Brian.
I know. I love that.
He's over his corner. He's chilling right there, waiting for you to give the right answer.
Okay, we will accept that answer. You could Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. We will accept that answer.
Yep,
we'll take it.
Is there a correct answer that I didn't get? And you're just giving me a
mulligan?
No.
Either or.
Either or.
Anakin technically, but either or.
It's like saying who was one of the greatest boxers of all time. If you said Cassius Clay, we would be like, yeah, Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali, Be like, like in Coming to America, is like his mother call him Cassius. I'm gonna call him Cassius.
Okay, so I failed the OG test because I said Vader instead of Anakin. Okay,
no, we accept that.
No,
we accept that. We'll accept that.
Yeah,
At least no. Some people we have the youngins that always some. Oh, it was Luke Skywalker. No, it wasn't Luke Skywalker.
No, it wasn't Luke. It wasn't Luke. It wasn't Leia.
People don't like to believe that the actual hero's path actually took a bad road, but that was the only way he was going to get to where he was going to get. It's if you look at it, it's kind of messed up, but that's the way it is. The hero turned out to be the villain and turned out to be the hero anyway.
Now, one of you mentioned Princess Leia. I assume you've heard some people say that the trilogy was really about Leia and that she was the chosen one somehow. I've heard that rumor out there somehow, and I don't buy it.
I've heard something like that, or that she was the direct lineage to what was supposed to be the chosen one, which was hers and Han's son, Kylo. Because he was, obviously connected to Rey. Like there was something about the Force that had to bring them two together to do what they had to do. But that only came up because of the fact that there was more after that, and they continued the saga. Because those were technically the last three, which were the last.
Yeah, Anakin was the original hero, regardless. Before they had the expanded universe and anything like that, he was always the anti-hero, I guess you want to call him.
Yeah.
In George Lucas's mind from the get-go, it was just the late expanded universes when all the theories and. I mean, they've had some good, like, expanded universe things. I don't read them much. I mean, one of them was actually a comic book called Dark Empire. That was actually good. They've had a couple good ones. I own a lot of paperbacks.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off. I've got a couple Vader comics. Hang on.
Oh, okay. There we go.
They're newish, but lost my ears. There's some cool concepts. Let's see, Darth Vader, Dark Heart of the Sith, and Into the Fire. One of them, Vader goes back and visits like the grave of Padme or her tomb. And there's some cool twists in there. And then the other one, he like challenges and tries to fight Darth Sidious. He tries to fight the Emperor, and the Emperor fucks him up real bad. So
I can imagine.
I suggest them if you haven't read them. But other than that, I read a little bit of the Thrawn trilogy, maybe some of the third book before I knew it was a trilogy. And then obviously the game Shadows of the Empire. That was awesome. I really wish they would have made Shadows of the Empire into a movie instead of doing like the sequel trilogy like they did. But what are you going to do?
I remember I had the N64 game
for
Shadows of the Empire. I remember that. That was a cool game.
Yeah, I played that game. I never had it because I didn't get the N64.
Did you ever see the Ewoks movies, Brian?
The Ewoks movies?
Yeah.
Were they shorts? They weren't
no,
like,
they were full movie. They were TV movies.
Is
And
that what's-
After
I was-
Jedi,
okay, that's what
it
it
was
was. I was like,
Battle of Endor, and
I remember
I
hearing
can't-
about it,
I
and I think
can't
I've
remember there was two of them. They're both related to one another, but the battle they should be on Disney Plus. The Battle for Endor and something else. They're actually good movies.
seen. I love the Ewoks, man. The Ewoks are always pretty cool.
Caravan of Courage.
Yeah, they're actually good. Like this family land on Endor and they crash, and the two kids have to save them with the Ewoks.
Okay, so it's almost like a Land of the Lost meets meets the Ewok village. Okay.
Yeah. The second one's pretty. They kind of darkened the second one up a little bit more than the first one. I mean, they were killing people and everything.
I was gonna say, I think you've talked about this because I was like, "What? They're killing people?" Like he's like, "Oh yeah, it got kind of
Yeah,
weird."
the second one was kind of like a little bit more brutal than the first one.
Oh wow.
Just Ewoks getting torn to shreds.
No, I
This
don't think
one-
they go that far.
This one, the second one, I'm looking at pictures, looks almost like not quite Dark Crystal, but maybe a weird Power Rangers version of Ewoks with some of the villains.
Yeah, because the villain, he kind of reminded me of that the villain in what was that damn movie with Tim Allen, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, remember the monsters? They kind of look like those things from in the Ewok movie, the second one.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
No,
they,
I've never
they
seen
pretty
those,
good.
man.
They were TV movies like in 85, 86.
I was gonna say, I was like, I remember hearing about those, and it sounded familiar, but I was like, I don't remember seeing it like as a movie. When you said TV movie, that made more sense to me. I was like, oh, okay, something straight to video. Gotcha.
Actually, I got something I can show Brian, something that's old school. Hold on.
Uh-oh. What old school thing he's gonna bring out? I can never
Dude,
understand.
When I see that picture, he made me freaking cry.
So
Okay.
many people that I've talked to. My wife was like, he started making me sad. I was like, I know. I was like, he brought the whole vibe down. It was horrible. She's like, you're so
No.
bad. I'm like,
No,
oh
I
my
don't
God,
mean a
no.
bad thing, dude. It was
Oh, no,
such a
I know.
feel good. Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. I'm being sarcastic, asshole. I was just trying
Oh,
to like.
gotcha.
I was like, everybody was being sad, and I was like, no, let's not be sad. Let's not be sad. Stop making me cry. You're still muted, bro. Fatty, you're muted. Just go ahead, keep on talking. We'll pretend.
I'm right here. No, I was gonna show y'all. I had this when I was a kid, so I found one on eBay unopened. I don't know, Brian, you ever seen these before? The storybook
glare.
with the cassette.
The glare is horrible. Pick it up.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, I didn't have those ones as a kid,
There you
but I
go.
had
There you go. Yeah,
I had
that was
ones
a-
like that.
I remember those things.
I showed my kid that. She's like, "What's that?"
Taryn didn't know what a fucking cassette was.
No, she didn't even know how to. I even gave her a record, and I'm like, I got a record player for my birthday. I'm like, go for it. I'll give you $20 if you can figure it out.
Oh man, just give her a fucking rotary phone. Tell her to dial a number.
Dude, it's funny with kids. My son, I have a little cassette player, and I found a tape that speaking of sentimental shit, my grandma did an interview about the Depression, like growing up during the Depression for like a cousin, and I have the tape, and it's like one of the only things I
awesome.
have.
That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome, bro. You got her voice still? That's fucking great.
Yeah, so I found it when I was moving stuff around in my office, and I have a little cassette player or whatever, and I'm showing my son, and he's like, "What is this? This is cool." He's 6, and then I turn on the radio, like the stereo, and he's like, "What's this?" I said, "Oh, this is a radio, like in the car." He goes, "Where's the buttons?" Like, no, you turn the dial. As soon as I gave it to him, he's flipping through it, and he thought it was the coolest shit in the world. I'm like, "This is what we used to do. Commercial comes on, you turn the dial, you got to tune it in." And then my daughter comes out and she sits down. My wife comes out. She's like, "What are these kids doing?" And they're playing with this Stone Age audio equipment. Just, it kept him content. My son is 6, and he was content for like 25 minutes just listening to the radio. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
This is fucking bizarre.
It's so awesome. Analog, man. Analog, baby, just dialing stuff. Like I seen a picture of that the other day. They showed a picture of a Walkman in like a museum, and I was like,
Oh Jesus!
I'm like, that hurt my heart so bad. I was like, oh, I think I just had arrhythmia. Oh, I can't believe what, a Walkman? And then they had like an anti-skip CD Walkman. I'm like, that's the shit. You had to get the anti-skip. You had to make sure you flip the button. Flip the button, because if you don't flip the button, it's gonna skip. Like, oh my
Wow.
God.
In a museum.
Yeah, in a museum.
I mean, it was like in the 80s when you got like a little with the little earphones that were like buds, AirBuds almost the size. Remember those little earphones, Gary? They were
Yeah.
about that big.
Yeah, there's shitty
and
ones,
and
yeah.
you would just have the radio. You didn't have nothing else, no tape deck and nothing. You were happy with that.
Oh, I remember we would go to to Comiskey Park, old Comiskey Park, me and my dad, and we would listen on the radio. He would have his little handheld radio with one ear in his and one ear in mine, and we would listen to the broadcast of the game that we were at. But he wanted to listen to the radio version of it.
So
And
that
a lot
shit real, huh?
Yeah. No, it's
Like
people
in
would
the
actually-
movies, I used to see the guys wearing the headphones in the movies at the baseball games. So that shit's
they're
real, huh?
because the in stadium, there's nothing. It's just this person's up the bat. Oh, they got a hit. Like it's no commentary whatsoever. It's literally just facts. But you want to listen to Harry Carey. You want to listen to all the announcers down there. You wanted to hear them on your headset. So you would see people at Wrigley Field too. Same thing at Wrigley. We do the same thing. You would listen to them on your headset and just tune into the radio station. 970. Whoop, there it is. I got him. And listen. The only time that everybody would hear Harry Carey, like when we went to Cubs games, is when he was drunk and he started doing the 7th inning stretch and drinking that old style. Like that dude was shit faced drunk all the time. That was one of the funnest things. That's why the Cubs games were so fun. Like they didn't care if they were winning. If they won, it was even better. It's because we're gonna have a party anyway. Everybody's gonna drink and we're gonna have fun. And Harry's gonna come out here and sing us out for the 7th inning stretch when we're down 13-4 to the Orioles. And it's like, all right, cool, whatever, that's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, Gary's northerner like yourself. Yeah.
Well, I was raised in
Northerner.
Chicago.
I was gonna say northerner, like I'm coming down from Canada, eh? But so you're from Chicago.
Compared to y'all, well, compared to you,
Yeah.
well, y'all are way northern than we are. We're more south than we could go. We can't go no south, further south.
Yeah,
Well, we're in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're actually technically in the Gulf of Mexico. We're a bowl.
Yeah, I'm actually probably on the Gulf of Mexico, so I can't go no further.
He's just some extra, like a foot, not even a foot underneath his feet. It's water.
Yeah, I'm literally on the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
See, that's dangerous ground for me, man. I'll stay up here where there's like no alligators and rattlesnakes and shit. We just got to deal with like the snow and winter time.
Where are you at?
I'm in Ohio, near Toledo, about an hour south of Detroit.
Oh, okay. Are you a Buckeyes fan?
Not really, not specifically. If I have to choose Michigan, and I'm glad they won this year, but
Oh, you like Michigan? See, I don't care about either one of them. I don't like Ohio State just because I'm a University of Miami fan, and I can't. And that one year when there was some sort of pass interference or some bullshit, I don't want to talk about it.
They had pretty helmets.
was that the one where the kid walked out flipping the crowd off? Or am I thinking of a different game?
It could have been. Who knows? Miami
Okay.
does a lot of stupid shit.
Okay.
It's just such dumb kids.
That was Ohio State, but okay. Never mind.
Y'all want to get into a little entertainment news?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Gina Carano, Gary, I don't know if you heard or if you knew the story. I'm sorry, I'm fixing my head. It's in my she's suing Disney.
I did hear about that. I'd seen a little snippet of that the other day.
There you go. Yeah, she said she's saying she was wrongfully, I guess, terminated. I mean, I've been following the story since day one, and she got screwed. She really did. She was being harassed about people. They were trying to make her put her pronouns in her Twitter bio. She makes a stupid comment. She goes, "Bebop boop," just they freaked the fuck out. They freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Twitter went crazy. Disney went crazy. They were trying to get her to get with people, I guess, re-educate her, and she wasn't going to do it. She wasn't going to do it. I would not do that. You're not going to sit there and try to preach me. I'm in my 40s. You're going to tell me what's right or wrong. I know what the fuck right or wrong is. And they tried to do that. Well, she posted something else down the road. It was a picture of, I guess it was a German kid chasing a Jewish lady. And pretty much the meme said what it was. It was on the order, don't let the government, I guess, try to tell you what to do. They'll have your neighbors turn against you for different political views. And that's what she was trying to say. She wasn't trying to be anti-Semitic or nothing like that. She was just like, don't let, I guess, the government, influence you to turn on your neighbors. Because that's what the Nazis did with the German people. They had them turn on the Jews like the neighbors.
Oh, yeah, they turned on everybody.
And that's what she was trying to say. And that I get that. That's common sense,
Yeah, not nowadays, bro.
And then that's when Disney fired her, and Disney put out this statement saying, no, we don't support this and support none of that. And really, she didn't do nothing wrong. And then like Pedro Pascal has made comments about like Trump supporters calling them Nazis. Mark Hamill's made dumb shit up, and nothing's happening to them. And she's saying, look, why did nothing happen to them? Y'all didn't even tell them nothing. But look at me, I got fired.
We know why.
Yeah. And I think that's how ugly the world has gotten. You can't even have an opinion no more. Right or wrong, you can't even have an opinion anymore.
Well, you can. You just, unfortunately, the consequences are worse now, maybe some would say, than what they've ever been. That's the biggest thing. Like, there's always been consequences on what you said or what you did, but depending on who you were, what value they put towards you as a person or as a character or whatever they wanted to put in their sphere, would depend on how they would handle it. If you're some big-time movie star that could run the studio, you say something stupid, they're like, oh, yeah, no big deal. You know, and especially if you're a man, unfortunately, especially in Hollywood, like, that's just, what are we going to do? Like, we don't control those. We're not behind those dark rooms where they make all these decisions and these choices and who's going to be the one and who's not going to be the one. So,
Brian, y'all touched on this yesterday in y'all show. I mean, what do you think?
I think,
and say your mind, bro. Don't matter what it is.
no, because like I try to take everything in and just try to figure out where I'm at with it. And I don't know if I can pick a side too much. I think she got fucked. I really do. Because as you said, there's other people who are able to say other things freely, and it's not a problem because it's that is what the culture is. That's the narrative. That's what they want to uphold. And the second you step out of that, then she became a pariah. And I know it wasn't just, like you said, it wasn't just that post. It was more than that. And she was saying every one of her tweets, every one of her likes, every one of her posts, they were all under scrutiny all the time, which sounds like every time she posted or liked something, someone was saying something to her.
Oh, yeah. She was she was being watched. She's one of those people that was just being watched.
oh, yeah.
Right. So, and I've heard someone else, I think John and Shaheen said it last night. They told her not to post certain things, and then she did anyway to poke the bear. So ultimately, hey, you did it when I told you not to. So of course you got fired or had some action. But I understand too, because like you guys, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not going to go out of my way to say some, like, I'm not a 4chan troll. I'm not going to go out there and, say some nasty shit just for a troll and for a laugh or whatever to be ironic. But at the same time, if my boss came to me and like my company, the company I work for, if corporate came to me and said, hey, you can't post that, and it's nothing really wrong, it's just not something they agree with, I'm like, hey, it's my personal Facebook. I know she's a public figure, it's a little different, but like, this is my personal Facebook. Why can't I say that I hate Ohio State football? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have to say about that at all? And how, at the same time, can you do this to me when other people aren't doing things? And it's become such like a Borg hive mind. It's getting better now, I think. I can tell. It doesn't seem to be ramped up as much lately. And I think people are getting tired of just the constant outrage farming.
I agree. I think people are just like, we're done. We're done here.
Yeah, man. And, I think it's good and it's bad because other people are going to be more comfortable to say stupid shit. But at the same time, it lets everyone breathe a little bit. Because, like, look at Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis, he got canceled. And now he's hosting Saturday Night Live, which was the show he got fired for in the first place. He's more famous than he ever was. Louis went away for a while. Louis C.K.'s back. I mean, he's low key, but he's doing shows.
His was a little different though. His was getting the Me Too kind of swallowed him up on that one. So that was a little different than where Shane was just being offensive because he was saying something inappropriate about somebody else. The other one was, assault or at least
fair. Very fair.
Allegations of. But yeah, no, I understand that. I get that part too. But I love Louis C.K. I when that hit him, I was like, damn, man, really him too? Fuck. I'm like, shit, man. Like all these guys that are going down, it's like, man, why can't guys not be assholes? Like that's my biggest
I don't know,
thing.
man. I'm of the opinion that anyone who gets to that level, there's a really high chance that on some level they're a piece of shit. It's just something always comes out, and if they're not, I'm more surprised by it. Like we were talking about I don't know if you guys are following the Vince McMahon WWE lawsuit.
Yeah. We've gotten to some heated exchanges about that.
Actually, Brian's done a little detail on it, so we can ask him some questions. Maybe he can answer for us, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying what he did was right, but I'm on the type. If she was into it, I can't have sympathy for her because I don't know I didn't know the situation. I wasn't there to witness it. I don't know. Now, my question is to you, Brian. I think you looked into it pretty well. Was there anything illegal mentioned, like done to her illegally, not moral, but illegally?
If she, according to her, yes. I don't want to get graphic.
You're fine.
But
well, I guess to a certain extent.
So,
like,
there
let's say,
some
like forcefully or like physical force or told,
no.
like physical force.
Yeah. So
okay,
the one thing that
I was not aware of. Okay,
one of the things that really stood out to me because you always hear stories about like Vince McMahon. And like Road Warrior Hawk did an interview, and he's like, "Why does he let that little shit Shawn Michaels get away with anything? I've heard there's some sort of maybe relationship or whatever." And Vince always had his guys that like he'd let do whatever, right? And everyone always wondered, like, are him and Warrior got something going on? Do him and Shawn Michaels or Hogan got something going on? It's just really weird. Well, allegedly, when the WWE champion and former UFC champion that was not named in the suit that people think is Brock Lesnar, I had to cover myself there.
Yeah.
When he got too drunk and couldn't go back to the penthouse to have the three-way allegedly with her and Vince wanted to salvage the night, according to this complaint that was filed. And Vince said he wanted to role play and fantasize that he was Brock.
I heard this
fucking her.
I hear this part.
Okay. During it, allegedly, according to her, it got rougher and rougher, and he essentially was like shoving her and open hand, like slapping her to the point where she finally was like crying and balled up on the floor saying, "Please stop, please stop." Now, her side of that is also that afterward, he just was kind of like, "Oh, I'm fucking up left and right with you tonight, aren't I?" So shit like that. In the WWE headquarters.
I told you, bro.
I said I was skeptical. Remember, I did say that as long as nothing illegal, I mean, like stuff like that. But now I'm finding this out. See, now I'm finding info. But I'm not gonna lie. While Brian was saying like what was going on, I was waiting for him to go. Yeah. Then he was doing all this, and he F5'd her ass.
He put her in a Kimura and he snapped her lower arm.
I was waiting on it. I was like,
look to the
Brian,
crowd.
and he F5'd her.
Everybody knew the move was coming. He's just pointing out into the living room of the suite.
He heard the music and got all excited. Yeah.
Yeah, he turns it on. She's like his foreplay, instead of turning on like some slow fucking jazz like some old man like he would, he turns it on and it's boom, 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 and he comes sauntering in doing the old Brock shoulder move. No, but so it's like it's all her side, and here's what I got from it. Okay, it sounds like she thought she knew what she was getting into. Maybe she thought there were certain things she had to do, like relationship-wise or servicing him, that she figured, fuck it, this is going to change my life. I'm in a bad spot. Just go with it. It also sounds like maybe she was groomed into it slowly, because they mentioned that they met several times, but the timeline was like over a summer they met 4 or 5 times. So it's like she'd come in, she'd talk to him. All right, we can do something for you. And then a month later she'd come in. He's like, all right, how about that job? And then like start like, come here, come give me a hug. And then slowly he folds into like, tell me about your family situation, that she just lost her parents and her family's bankrupt and she has nothing. And then he starts talking about his fucked up childhood. And, you know, my wife left me and I'm so lonely. I'm just a lonely man and I have no life outside of wrestling. I keep to myself. Man, and then like the whole, you know, no one even wants to approach me physically because they're so intimidated. And when's the last time I had a hug type of shit? And so like he asks for a hug when they leave. And then the next time he's putting his hand on her shoulder. So like there's a slow progression, but still to the point of, I won't doubt that maybe she thought, okay, roll up your sleeves. Let's just do what we got to do with the old man to change your life and, you know, to become a vice president, which I think was one of the veiled promises or things that was hinted to her early on. And then it quickly got out of control. And I don't think she knew how to get out of it. Now, I don't know this. I'm not her. I don't know the story. But from what I read, I originally started out wanting to cover it almost in a laughing matter because some of the stuff coming out, like with the dildos named after wrestlers and all this stuff, it was kind of funny. But then you read through the document and the shit that happened in succession, and then being handed off and having to come up with a schedule to be seen by the personal trainer and Johnny and Vince all in the same week, and then schedule 3-ways. And on the text, she's telling him, you know, I'm not back to my normal self because she was so beat up that she didn't want to do it and go through with it. And he's like, oh, it's okay. You know, maybe next week. It's fucking gross. So I understand when people look at it and say, hey, it looks like she might have been down for some of this. You know, maybe she's trying to get some money. But at the same time, I can definitely see where people are making the case that she was trafficked. And the comparison I made to this was it felt like that Nexium cult that Allison Mack or whatever it was involved with. Where here's Keith Raniere, he's the guru. It's such a pleasure to meet this guy.
Yep.
Then he kind of takes an interest in you and he invites you into the inner circle. And then slowly it's like this mind fuck Jedi, you know, mind trick thing.
There's the same thing with a yogi that well, he didn't necessarily invent, but he's the one that coined the phrase hot yoga. The one out in LA. Well, he's not even like, I don't know what country he's in right now, but I remember listening to the documentary about him. Same thing. They groom him. They get these people in that want to become practitioners of yoga, of hot yoga, and they want to become masters, yogis, so they can go and have their own, you know, their own yogi studio, and then they have their own yogi studio, and then it just keeps. It's, you know, basically it's multi-level marketing, basically, but
Yeah.
it's with yoga that people wanted to do, and it was such a great big fad. And he was on TV and all kinds of stuff, and same thing. He would groom the women to exactly how he needed them to be, and they would just that was it. And then it got to the point now where the federal government's now after him, but he's, you know, somewhere else where he's got no extradition to the U.S. So guess what? He doesn't have to come back. It's like, and he's still doing these seminars. And it's just like, what? Like, they're still getting away with this shit? They're like, yeah, people still doing it. And people even know about, like, the fact that he's been arrested and was indicted on charges of human trafficking and this and that. But no, he's gone. He had enough money. Disappeared. And it's like, I was trying to tell Phatty that, like, bro, if you have enough money, enough power, you can do whatever you want. You just can.
Vince McMahon would set up the night like a fucking match. We're gonna have a 3-way with tables, ladders, and chairs.
Teddy Long comes out. Hang on, player. There's going to be a change. You're going to go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. Bong.
I did have when y'all were talking. I ain't gonna say it, but I did have another sick joke. But
go for it. Let's hear it. What's the other one? I don't hold back here. What the hell?
Brian may never come back.
No, I'm good, man. I see. Like, I personally, after reading through the document, not to be serious, but like, again, I wanted to be lighthearted and kind of joke about it because look, this is Johnny Ace, this guy everyone makes fun of. And it's Vince McMahon, who you expect this type of fucking sick,
it doesn't surprise me.
megalomaniac shit from. No. Like, I had people asking me. I was at, like, family parties, and, of course, you're the wrestling guy, so they got to ask you about it. It's like, this is the last thing I want to talk about while I try to eat my mac and cheese and fried chicken and shit. Like, no. Like, I don't want to talk about this, but they're like, what do you think? Do you think it's... And, like, before you could finish, absolutely, I would believe this. And another thing that I mentioned on the Patreon bonus show I did about this, patreon.com/Spitball Media, the way she described one of the encounters was not almost word for word, but it reminded me very much of the Rita Chatterton accusations, the referee from like 1986. So just like the MO and the way he came about it, and like the way she mentioned him grabbing her and being forceful, like it reminded me of that. So, man, this has been going on for a while, and I don't think you pay out $12 million in hush money if you don't have skeletons in the closet. And now it's coming out. And then did you see the latest news? Because I haven't done a show about this yet. John Laurinaitis is flipping on Vince real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And he came out recently. And even though the WWE claimed that the company did not know about Ashley Mazzaro's assault claims, I guess, when they were over doing the tribute to the troops, Johnny Ace is saying that the company did. So that could even be even more issues because now this
Oh,
corporation
no.
said they didn't know, and there's proof that executives did, and they're publicly traded, and
Yeah,
it's,
and that's what I try to explain to Phatty316. When they're now a publicly traded company, it's a lot. That's why they will pay the money to keep you quiet because they know that it's going to affect stock prices and what the company's actual bottom line is worth. It could bankrupt somebody, and these are multi-billion-dollar companies. And it's just like it's all about the money, bro. It's all about the money. But the fact that he's doing the same thing that he did back in the '80s doesn't surprise me. It's where he learned how to do it. He's been doing it. He's been getting away with it. I've watched enough SVUs to know that a person that has that type of mindset, they don't change. They only become either more aggressive and more outlandish, especially the more they're allowed to do it. If you're allowed to rob any bank that you ever go into, how ballsy are you going to get when you walk into a bank? I've gotten away with it every time. Sure, I'm just going to keep on doing it and just do it even crazier. Why not? But that's what they do. Like you said, when this came out about Vince, didn't surprise me one bit. Never surprised me at all.
Well, they
And
say
I-
the sickest people are geniuses, man. He took a fictional, no, I wouldn't say a fictional sport, a scripted sport, and made it $1 billion industry.
Oh no, businessman. Mwah. Like
Well, that's what I'm saying. The
he-
sickest people in the world, half of them are geniuses.
yeah,
They're not
most of them are.
stupid.
Hey, serial killers are one of the smartest people in the world. Like most serial killers are extremely, extremely intelligent. They could be stupid at something else, but they're a savant doing that. It's like, why does it take so long to catch these people? How come there's never found the Zodiac killer? Why? Because either hopefully they died because it's just been long enough, or they're still around. They're just too old now. They can't do it. But they're geniuses. They've been under the radar for how long? Like, how lucky did we get to get the what's it called, the Unabomber? Like, he was living in a shed in the middle of the fucking forest.
Well,
by
that's why they didn't
himself.
find him.
Yeah, and it took it. And you know why he left that? Because he was a genius. Like I've seen the documentaries about a lot of these guys, and these guys are one thing they always have in common: these extremely smart, intuitive businessmen and these serial killers. They have one thing that's in common: they're extremely, extremely smart, and they're detail oriented. And it's just like, Jeffrey Dahmer could have been a CEO if he put his mind to a different way, but he didn't. He liked how people tasted. What do you do about that? Was that like an accident? Like, how does that happen? I never understood how like anybody ever would become a cannibal. Like, you like cut your finger, and you're like, I taste that liquid stuff tastes kind of good.
like a great white shark. Once they taste the blood, Chief, they come back for more. Like
Yeah, it's like a
Dahmer had a hangnail or something. He,
Well, I know this
like
ain't a popular answer, but I don't want the younger kids' heads to explode. But unfortunately, Hitler was not not an idiot either.
No, he wasn't.
Hitler was not an idiot.
No, he was very.
He
smart.
was evil, but he was not no idiot.
No, they're usually not. Look, even when we watch movies now, like traditional movies now that you see, the evil geniuses. That's why they're evil geniuses. They're usually all these evil geniuses were good geniuses, and then something fucked up happened, and they became evil geniuses. And they're like, you know what? The hell with the world. I'm going to now take it over because everybody hates me. I'm just smarter than everybody because everybody's just stupid. Why don't they just realize how much more smart I am than everyone else? But they did.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with businessmen and CEOs. Like, and they could either go that way or go the other way where they want to be completely submissive. Because you hear about these doms, these dominatrixes out here. They have jobs for a reason, and most of the people that are their clients are usually men that are in very high, powerful positions. Why? Because they're so used to being in charge of everything. Every once in a while, they want somebody to step on their nuts. Literally.
And they're the geniuses, the dominatrix.
Yeah. That's
I
a genius
I
too.
get to make $1,000 just for stepping on nuts.
Yeah, for
Genius.
1 hour. Yeah, and he has to call me madam.
I get to kick this guy in the balls, and he pays me $5,000. Like, where can I sign up for that? I don't give a shit. I'll kick a dude in the balls.
Yeah, kick me in the balls. Yeah. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Kick him till they ring.
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ.
God.
So, saying what I said, though, I want to step back a second. If it comes out that she fabricated all this because her, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying
it would be so bad.
It would be, and it would set this shit back because there's probably people that have been accused or that didn't want to accuse him of stuff. So, and the other thing too is people are saying, why did she just come forward now? I think it's been a while since I did the Patreon episode, so I can kind of dish this. Basically, what happened was she had an NDA, and allegedly Vince gave her one of the payments. It was supposed to be 3 payments of $1 million, one per year, and then some other stuff. And allegedly, he gave her one payment and then didn't pay her again. So if someone breaks the contract of the NDA, it doesn't mean you can just come out, according to this attorney that I was seeing review this. You can't just come out and start talking, because you have to have a judge essentially rule on it and say, yes, he broke the NDA. Officially, you're good to go. You can start talking. This is the first step in that process, and that's what that complaint was for. It was filing it so that a judge can review it and try to see what happened and if he broke the NDA. And then the feds, I guess, a while back raided Vince's office and got his technology. And
Yep.
there's more brewing, man.
Yeah, it's going to be so bad. Like, that's why he had to step down. He had to step down because he had to get away from the company. Because that's a publicly traded company now. It's like, nope, TKO's like, Vince, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like, we can't have you in any way, shape, or form associated with us, with WWE, with anything. Because isn't TKO also the same company that's actually the owner now of the UFC? Aren't they the ones that are part of that as well? Like, I remember reading about that when they merged those two companies together. They're the ones that are technically in charge of everything, but left everything the same.
So Endeavor owns both companies, and WWE and TKO exist under an umbrella called TKO, or WWE and UFC, exist under TKO. So.
Let me ask y'all this. It's kind of off. Well, not really. Do y'all think they're going to be able to keep the WWE up like Vince did? I mean, we're in a territory we've never been in before now. Vince pretty much kept it the way it was. I mean, is wrestling going to change after this?
It might. We'll see. Only time will tell. He's been behind the scenes for, what, almost 50 years?
Especially with WWE. I'm not talking about like wrestling as in general. I'm just talking about WWE.
No. I get it, but I don't know. Like, we've never had anything. I don't know what else I can remember that's been around for 40 years, 45 years. That was always the thing. It was always the best, biggest thing. Like, hell, the Patriots were only 20 years. They were kicking everybody's ass. Like, they went to like 10 Super Bowls and won 6 of them. Fuck.
I really believe once they get the wrestling people out of there, it's going to change. They're not going to know what to do. Yeah, I really believe that. I just don't see. They're going to change. They're going to try to make it with the last, I would say, with WCW that last year when I think it was Tom Warner that took them over. And even Bischoff said that's what killed the company. Once they took that over and it became super corporate, even though it was already corporate, but it became super corporate and just bigwigs were running the show instead of wrestling people, that's when it went downhill.
So do you think that they're going to end up going, all the stars and whatnot, going to end up going to AEW? Or
no, I don't.
Into the local regional, like outfits that are out there, like like Southern Championship.
I would not doubt if you tried to see like, I don't want to say Stephanie or Triple H, but I would not doubt if someone tried to start another wrestling company, like Shane or something.
You think
if they can? I don't know if they're allowed to. I mean, because some companies can't. Like Vince, I'm sure had to sign. He can never open a wrestling company,
like a non-compete type of thing.
Yeah, non-compete. Yeah, I was like, I've had
maybe after so many years or something like that.
Oh yeah,
but he ain't gonna be around.
Hell, when I worked for Leslie's, when I was doing the retail, I couldn't leave and go to another retailer. Like, if I left, I had to have gone to another place that was like what I'm at now. I wouldn't have been able to go to another retailer. I had a non-compete for a year that I couldn't go to another retailer. Hell, we have a non-compete with our company. I don't know if you know that. We got a non-compete with us. 6 months after you leave, you can't contact any of these customers.
Wow.
In case you want to steal them.
I'm taking my money with me. Taking all my customers with me.
You're like, this is my Christmas, motherfucker. I don't know what y'all are doing.
Right? What do you think, Brian? What I said? Do you think if once they get the wrestling people out, it's going to change?
Yeah, and you already see that now. It's been reported that the people that run TKO are familiar with UFC and how the fight game works, where it's like, oh, here's a big fighter and here's a big fighter, and let's put this super matchup on the card, and that's going to sell tickets.
Yeah, but also they got Dana White still there doing all of it, and that's what kind of Vince was for WWE.
But that's what I'm saying to that point is right now with Cody and with Rock and with the big mess they have right now. That was the mentality. It's, hey, let's put the biggest matchup on the card. Rock, Roman. We've been building this, alluding to this for a while. Two big stars. The Rock's the biggest star in Hollywood as far as I'm concerned. Huge celebrity. People are still talking about him running for president, for God's sakes.
I know. And he could if he wanted to.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is like that's the biggest potential matchup. New company. They're on Peacock. It's going to be going to Netflix. This could be seen by a ton of people, and this will draw some people in probably. But the reality is, if you do that now and you make Cody look like a fucking idiot, people are going to lose faith in him at some point, and that's something you've invested 2 years into to just throw it away for one match. It's the old saying where. I heard an interview before where Jim Herd said something like, what's the deal with Arn Anderson? Why don't you go with Sid Vicious? And I think Jim Cornette said, well, Sid is the type of talent where you can book him in a match and make $1 million in one night, but I can support a territory for 10 years with Arn Anderson working because the guy's an architect or I can't think of the word, but he's a journeyman. Like I can use him and sustain a territory. Sid is a great attraction. I'll get $1 million out of him in one night, but where am I at after that? This is the same thing. And if you have people from TKO that look at it as if they look at UFC, it is completely different than the fight game. So when you don't have Vince, when you don't have Stephanie, Triple H, whoever else, I think you're going to see something, one that started back when Turner originally bought Jim Crockett Promotions in the late 80s, where you get away from some of the more traditional aspects of it, and then you get a Jim Herd booking the ding-dongs, and they were able to fight that fight for about 5 or 6 years, and then they got popular with the NWO. But then, as you said, when Time Warner came in, it was all over, because it's all suits, it's corporate. Same thing, we're talking about Star Wars, to get back to that a little bit. Same thing that happened with Lucasfilm in Disney. Same thing.
I was so sad when Lucasfilm sold to Disney. So sad.
Well,
I knew Disney was going to throw shit tons of money at it. And like all the different things that I could just see, all the machinations of different things, which we've all seen now. But then it's like, do you get the Disney part of it then?
Well, most people were actually happy about it because everybody thought George Lucas was the one out of touch. It's like, oh, come on, George is doing. We need something new, and we knew Disney would throw up the money to get the originals back in a movie. That's why everybody was like excited. And then what was it? It was the Force Awakens. And I remember seeing The Force. I was excited. I had my ticket 6 months in advance. I seen it. I come out. Yeah. I wake up the next morning. I'm like, did I watch the fucking first movie all over again last night?
Pretty much.
And that's how I felt after I saw it.
That's. I liked it too, and it brought back that nostalgia, basically feeling of. But it was basically the first movie all over again, or at least the first movie. Which was technically the fourth movie? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, the seventh movie. Oh, you talking about
off the original three? Yeah. There's so many. It's the time.
And they had. I think Disney had even with Rogue One. When I saw Rogue One, that was the second movie to come out for, and I was like, it wasn't the greatest, but I felt like it was a Star Wars movie. I had my gripes about it, but I felt like it was a Star Wars movie. Then The Last Jedi came out, and it was all downhill from there. Then they bring out Mandalorian. It's like, okay, especially after season 2 with that ending, I was like, okay, you bought some faith back, and everything's been shit ever since. I don't even watch them.
Shit, I just lost it. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you don't.
Shoot, it was. I was thinking not Mandalorian, but Rogue One. I put Rogue One up there with the originals. And
I can get with that.
Like you said, it felt like a Star Wars movie. There was enough member berries with the Princess Leia at the end and shit. It was cool. And some of that, I thought that movie restored Darth Vader to me as a badass and the threat that he was made out to be in the original Star Wars. Because if you think about it, original Star Wars, he's like this mythical creature. And then Empire Strikes Back, he's kind of toiling around looking for his kid. And then he tortures Han Solo a little bit. Schools Luke Skywalker, cuts his hand off, I'm your father. And then the whole last movie, Return of the Jedi, in that trilogy, he's kind of the Emperor's fucking with him, and he's almost a side character, and it's about Luke, and it's about the Emperor, because Luke, is trying to turn his dad good, the Emperor's trying to turn Luke bad, And Vader's just kind of like, "Oh, okay, I'm standing over here like a piece of lawn furniture." But Rogue One, that scene at the end where the dark hallway and the lightsaber lights up and he goes crazy and those dudes are flying and screaming. I was like, holy shit, that's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So I would put that up there with, I personally, with the top 3. And you mentioned people soured on George Lucas and thought he was out of touch. If you go back and watch the original Star Wars, it was a phenomenon. Not the greatest like cinematic film. It's got a lot of great effects. It's got a cool story, and obviously we all love it for
when he did it too. Compared to when he did it too, like you look back and we can all go back and watch stuff and critique it and be like, man, I can't believe I thought this was the shit compared to some of the stuff that I see now.
It wasn't the fact I didn't think the stories for the prequels were bad. I think he just went overloaded with the CGI. That's the only gripe I had with those 3 movies. I thought the CGI was just too much. It was. I like the original. Look at Return of Jedi. Like when they're in Jabba's palace, everything's in shot. That's why it looks so real. It looked more real when they were doing puppets, but now when they got all the computer, it don't even look real anymore.
It's because he had a new toy that was the CGI that could make stuff look just like anything, but it wasn't that. It was the beginning of it. Whereas he had before, making puppets and miniature sets and stuff like that is different because it's tactile. You can actually see it and physically move it and touch it, and you can see that on film. So that's why those special effects that were like that, that's why it's such a skill. Like when you see some of these people that win like, Oscars and Emmys and this and that for special effects and design, set design, it's because of that. It's because that's what makes it look good. But yeah, it was a new toy. CGI was a new toy. And he's like, fuck that. He put that shit on Max. And he's like, let's do this shit. Like, I don't want nobody nowhere. I don't want to see shit. I want to see the 2 people that are in this scene and everybody else can go straight to hell. We're going to put a green screen up. We're going to shoot the fuck out of it. You got to pretend that there's somebody over there. And you got to look at him over there. No. Oh, little 20 degrees more to your left.
That tennis ball on a stick over there. That's your mark. Yeah.
But I would say Revenge of the Sith would edge out Rogue One for me, right up there.
Wow.
I like Revenge of the Sith. That was the Anakin scene when he walks in. Hey, Anakin, and next thing all the kids are dead. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was one of the. When I seen that scene, I was like, yo, this is not going to happen. Like, you could feel it, and you're like, this isn't going to happen. He's not going to. And the door opens, and it's like, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Hey, buddy. No, hey, buddy, shit. I'm going to kill every single one of you motherfuckers.
He kills younglings. Like, I remember that scene. I love that movie. But Obi-Wan standing there going, he killed younglings. Like, So that's the thing I was trying to get to is in the first couple movies, the first one written and directed by George Lucas, edited and saved. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video. It's called Saved in the Edit, but it's how George Lucas originally laid out Star Wars as a film.
Oh, shit.
And how they realized it didn't work. So what they did was they cut everything up and interspersed it to make it a lot more interesting and to make it to build the tension. So if you take that and apply that to what we know about the prequel trilogy where he was in control, like it was all George, as opposed to Empire Strikes Back, which was directed by, what's his name? I can never remember his name. I know Richard Marquand did Return of the Jedi, but like there's a coffee table book, I think it's The Making of Return of the Jedi, and they show story notes and of like George Lucas and Gary Kurtz and Richard Marquand and somebody else sitting around a table. And George is reading through his list. And it was like, Luke is going to go to this cave, and it's a lava cave, and he confronts the Emperor, and Vader's there. And then Obi-Wan shows up, and they have a little bit of a fight with the ghost of Obi-Wan. And then they're sitting around going, no, that's going to take that away from what we're doing. It's going to be too distracting. Luke needs to stand on his own. And George is like, okay, I get that. And then they go back to the drawing board. Whereas this, the prequel trilogy was all George, and probably had Larry Kasdan or Lawrence Kasdan like writing the actual script. So I think that's a difference. And that's like a lot of creative people where if you leave them to their own devices, they're probably going to get kind of out there and it's not all going to be great. And I think that was, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, look at every Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, that's why it only made so many. He's fucking crazy. It's like, what? I don't understand any of these things.
And there was, I can't remember. I think it was George Lucas's first wife that was the editor on the
Yeah.
three movies too, and that may have been missing from the prequels too. So she wasn't, but I'm pretty sure she was like the editor on all three films.
Yeah, because they went through, and if you guys remember, not to get too nerdy, but they have the scenes on Tatooine. They have the scenes on the blockade runner. They have the scenes after that. All the scenes on Tatooine, I think, were shot almost continuous, or were going to be shown continuously. And then you were going to have the scene with the blockade runner. And then, like, it just didn't work. It was too long. It was monotonous. Whereas you start with the blockade runner. That's the first shot. Then you cut to Luke down on Tatooine at some point, and the droids moving around. Then Darth Vader's back up here on the Star Destroyer, and they're talking to Princess Leia. Like, it's that back and forth that built the tension around it, as opposed to just, it gets the old South Park philosophy I cite a lot, is this happened, but then this happens, therefore this happens, as opposed to this happens, then this happens, then this happens.
Yeah.
You have to have that tension in there. And she actually, to her credit, was the editor that helped him figure that out. So she's kind of an unsung hero of the original Star Wars. So to that point, maybe George didn't have the governor on him and should have. And,
All gas, no brake.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
All gas, no brake, baby. That's George's like, fuck this. This is mine. I'm gonna ride this how I want to ride it. I don't care what nobody got to say about shit. And everybody's like, all right, cool, bro. Go ahead. Like, there was no one there to put him in check, bro.
And at that time, the current president of Lucasfilm was serving coffee and taking notes. Yeah, that's what she was. That was her job back then. She handed out coffee and took notes. And now she runs Lucasfilm.
Hey,
That's
bro,
what I've been
look.
trying to figure out for the longest time, is people say that. Like, she was a production assistant. She was a producer. Like, what movies did she really produce? And I don't mean arranging for craft services or getting people beverages. What movies did she have, like, not a creative, but like
a hand in actual, like,
yeah.
You're calling these people and you're saying, no, this is who we need to get. This is what we need to do over here. Like, no, I understand what you're saying. I get it. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just like anything else, man. Like, you hear these stories about the girl that worked at McDonald's as a cashier when she was 16, and now she's the CEO of the Western Hemisphere of the United States of McDonald's. And you're like, how long did that take? Oh, only 35, 45 years, but that's where it went to. So you never know, but sometimes it just takes longer or shorter. Maybe it's who you know.
Well, she rode the backs of great men and climbed the way to the top. Now, I don't think nothing like actual, but no, she did. Spielberg and Lucas, she pretty much rode their coattails to get where she is. And
there could only be one.
Now you're seeing she has no fucking talent at all, because she's been in control of Star Wars 12 years now. They're in the hole. They're in the hole. They can't turn a profit if their life depends on it. Everything's closing up. They can't sell toys. The Galaxy's cruiser lasted a year. I mean, you were charging $6,000 a day. I mean, they're failing hard. I mean, I don't see how, honestly, Disney as a whole, I don't see Disney gonna have to do something the next couple of years. They're going broke.
Yeah,
they can't keep on losing money. Marvel's
they can't keep on
killing
losing.
them.
They can't keep on losing money, but they're also not going to be. They're not going to go broke anytime soon, bro. Like, do you remember in 2008 when all the banks went to shit because of all the mortgages they were handing out for pennies on the dollar? Like, it's fine. It's fine. They'll make the money. They'll be fine. They'll pay us that adjustable rate mortgage. No problem. When it
and if not, the insurance company will back them. Okay, we're good.
Everything will be fine. What happened? What did our government do? Bail them the fuck out. Those banks should have closed.
I think in the next couple of years, Disney's going to start licensing stuff out, like Marvel stuff. Like, people could just lease them. Watch.
I don't know. They're really protective of their brands, man. I mean, it's not from their own actions, obviously, but from other people. Like Disney, you can't even go. You won't go to any private daycare in your local neighborhood and see like Mickey Mouse on the walls, because if they find out, you get a cease and desist. I mean, it's to that point.
Absolutely.
So they're I should say controlling. They're not protective, because obviously if they were, they wouldn't fuck around with Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. But they're very controlling of their IP. So I could see them licensing certain stuff, but at the same time, Bob Iger just came out. Was it Bob Iger? And he said they're going to be more.
more sequels and reboots or something like
and
that.
more limited, which John was saying he thinks means they're going to pull back on the amount of stuff they're putting out.
Yep.
So I could see if they give Star Wars, like they're doing the Rey movie, they're going to do the Grogu Mandalorian movie, but I could see them like where they were putting out content like between TV and between movies. They were putting stuff out like every maybe 18 months at some point.
Yeah,
I could see them backing off.
Everything's just so watered down. It's like enough already, and I think they
oversaturated the market. They hit the market with, like you said, with so much stuff at once. Like there was always a movie coming out, and then the fucking series that just drops 10 episodes, but you're gonna watch them 2 at a time.
But to be fair, nothing was actually that good. If it was good, it'd be different. But nothing was good. You know, there was never like in any of their shows. There's really not an established bad guy anymore, or the bad guys. He's just misunderstood.
They're conflicted. Yeah.
He doesn't know how to feel. He was touched when he was young.
You know, that's like with Obi-Wan with the chick Reby. Why didn't, dude? I think you and me talked about that, or maybe it was Jeff when Jeff was on. Obi-Wan should have cut her fucking head off. She knows about Luke and Leia. Cut that bitch's head off. Don't let it live.
That's a
Why? Why do you keep this chick's trying to kill y'all?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if she's not going to tell someone. If we know now they can do a Jedi mind fucking erasure from the new movies.
Oh, they can Jedi heal too now. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, what is it? Like, dude, I want to see. I'm sick of seeing people get like, and this happened in the Scream movie too. So it's not just Star Wars. Was there some medical phenomenon discovered where people could get like stabbed and gutted and just live? Because I've seen it in movies recently where like people are like stabbed in the stomach and they're down, and then it's like hobbling along, and then they're on a gurney, and oh no, we're gonna be good. They're just gonna like put some Robitussin on it, like Chris Rock would say. But like, get the tussin in it.
Be looking like something out of the beach on Private Ryan. I'm okay.
I'm fine.
I'm okay. You see the dude put his guts back in?
Put his small intestine back in. It's just slipping around like a fucking hot
just
sausage.
a flesh wound.
Hello.
Hang in their private mellish. Hang in their private mellish. That's just your lower bowels. It'll be fine. Get a stapler. Someone get the stapler.
It's a scratch. Got no leg. It's a scratch.
It's like everything got dumbed down. Like it go back into the Star Wars shows. The stormtroopers, they need to go back to stormtrooper school because they cannot shoot for shit. It's like they shoot, like 3 of them are shooting, they all just missing, and the dude's standing right in front of them.
It was
like,
funny.
Oh, come on.
I seen a meme about that exact one the other day. It was so damn funny. I lost my shit. It was just a picture of all the stormtroopers just sitting there, all in their nice white, suits, just sitting there and they all had paintball guns. And they said, on the top of it said Stormtrooper Paintball, Annual Paintball Fund or Gala or some shit. And there was they were just all clean. They're all clean. Everybody was good. Like, are you sure you guys didn't start? You guys already did this? Oh, okay, cool. All right, this is what we're doing.
Well, everything. It's like, I think another thing in Hollywood, especially with like superhero movies or anyone that has like to wear a costume, they don't want to be covered anymore. They don't want to play the character to the T anymore. Well, I wouldn't blame that one on your boy who played Boba Fett, but they ruined Boba Fett. Boba Fett should never taken his helmet off. That was the whole mystique of him. The Snake Eyes movie. The Snake Eye, and they completely screwed that character. They took his helmet off. You weren't never supposed to see his face. Then he wasn't even Asian. He was a white guy. That was the whole feud between him and Storm Shadow because he was an American and he was Asian when they were kids. That's why they had a damn friggin' a duel, whatever. What else? Halo, the Halo show. I won't watch the Halo show because they took his helmet off. That's the whole mystique. You took the whole mystique of the character away.
No. The best thing to do for stuff like that is to do it when it's like the final of. Like, it's the final season of Halo, and at the final episode of Halo, you see Master Chief. You're like, oh, shit. That's what it looks like?
No, he don't look like that. That's their Halo. No, Master Chief has no face. He just has a voice.
He's just a helmet. That's it.
He's like Dr. Claw. It's like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Oh, my God, face. Dr. Claw with that fucking cat.
Next time, Gadget.
You do that. Oh, my God, that voice. Oh, it's so warm in my heart. That felt so good. I forgot. I loved Inspector Gadget, bro. He was one of my favorite ones from back in the day, bro. Low key, one of the best cartoons, man. Low key.
Poor
Like,
Brain. Brain would always get blown up and shit.
Somebody's got to get blown up, bro.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned unmasking, like you said, man, Maximus. It can be impactful, like in Mandalorian, when he takes his helmet off. Finally, like Bill Burr's character won't let him. Like after fucking with him for like a whole couple episodes, he goes to take his helmet off because it was the right thing to do. Bill Burr makes him take it off and outs himself. That was big. And then when he finally does take it off after teasing it, it's so Grogu can see his face because that's his fucking kid. And it's like, fuck.
Well,
You know,
they started with the droid, the medical droid first. That's where it started from. When it is like when he's like, no one can see my face. He's like, well, I'm not human. So, and that's when they took his helmet off the first time. And I think they could have did it like tastefully, just like when he takes it off, they just like the camera to the back of his head where you don't actually see his face, like they did. I think in one scene where he was eating, but all you seen was him put down the helmet and the food going up to his face, and that was it. And yeah, I think that was Pedro Pascal. They gotta let people's face. They gotta let people see their face.
Well, you want to be a star? You know, like you want to be a star? Like Rey Mysterio took off his mask. When Rey Mysterio took off his mask, other than it coming off on accident from times before, which I've seen, and I was like, oh no. Like it's almost one of those things where I even almost myself didn't want to like watch.
Yeah, because
I was like,
it takes away the mystique of the character.
You love that, and then we've talked about this because of how social media is. There is no more mystique. Kayfabe is gone. It's
Kayfabe.
There is no more, or kayfabe, whatever.
Kayfabe.
I always like to say it like that. Bro.
That sounds like a new app or something. Kayfabe.
That's what it sounded like to me. But because they all have Instagrams and you can see all their brand. You know, you can go get their T-shirts on their website from their link or their OnlyFans if they got one now, because that's just what everybody got. There's no more behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is in front.
Well, yeah, you're right, and that's what I think not having kayfabe in wrestling now hurts it big time. People don't really. Everybody want to know what was behind the curtain. Well, now you know the magic's gone. You can't put the genie back in the bottle now. And even the wrestlers don't even try anymore. Even they don't even pretend to try anymore.
Oh, why should they?
It's like, I'm gonna go beat Roman's ass tonight. Like on Twitter, you see him and Roman having a drink.
Yeah, later on getting cocktails.
Yeah, flat ruin that.
That's how it is, bro. That's how it be, bro. It's all about brand management, and you know your brand, and they teach you brand now and everything that you do. Look, we talk about it with everything. College sports, all the NIL stuff, they've been doing it forever. It's just now they're only now just getting really paid for it, like legally paid for it. So now the money like seems astronomical when honestly they've been doing that shit in basketball and football for years. There's always been bag men. The only thing is now is that everybody has a bag man. Instead of just, the star players, now the offensive second string lineman can actually get a camp that he can go do back in his little podunk, hometown in Mississippi and make $300 because he showed some little fat kids how to block.
Yes.
But that's the good part of it. But the other part of it was always there. It was always there anyway. It was like, this guy's getting $1 million. That's nothing. Or you shouldn't be $1 million. It cost me $1 million to get his phone number. to get his contact info.
There was always kids getting recruited and people getting cars and someone's mom getting a house and shit. It always happened. And we would hear about it when I played football in high school. Like you would hear certain shit going on.
Wow.
And then if a kid, was a star player and he had scouts coming to see him and they went to dinner with someone and then all of a sudden they became ineligible because they did something bad. I guess you don't get those perks anymore. And I guess you get to go to detention now. And I guess you get suspended. I mean, even on a low level, that shit was happening. And then you find out about the college stuff going on. And it's hilarious. So whenever people like get all in their feelings and clutch their pearls about like college sports and athletes accepting bribes or getting recruited, to me, I'm like, really? That's you don't think that's happening? Like what pretend world? And maybe it's better, and this is how most people get through their day. But like, what pretend world do you live in? Like where this bad shit doesn't happen, and that like everyone's on the up and up and great. It's like, no. Have you not turned on the news? Have you not read a fucking not even Inquirer anymore? Like, have you not read the USA Today? It's everywhere.
But open up your Facebook app. Just look at your Facebook app. Just scroll, and you'll see all the shit that happens everywhere all the time. But no, it's fun. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, it's great for people like you said to be naive and be like, oh, everything's hunky dory.
Well, it's funny that Brian brought that up about, people getting up all type about the bribes and everything. But now they got what they wanted, and now they're in a worse fucking position now with the NIL, because now these players are getting millions of fucking dollars, and they're transferring. It's become the NFL. Now they're in a fucking worse situation. They should have just said, fuck it. If everybody gets a bribe here and there, let it go.
Yeah.
But now they're in a worse fucking situation in college.
Pandora's box, bro. Look, hey, one of the greatest selling games of all time is NCAA football. Like that game, the story mode where you can recruit and this and that, and you're the coach of the team. Like those games were awesome. They made so much money off of that, and then got sued because of the fact they were using real players' names. And then it was like, oh, we didn't have to pay them.
I thought it was just their likeness. I didn't think they used their names.
Both. That's why it's called name, image, and likeness. That's why it's called NIL.
And with that situation, that could have been easy to deal with. You just pay every player who's going to be in the game $1,000 check.
Yeah, but they would have all had to agree on that. And how?
But I'm just saying that would have been a lot better than what it is now. Now players are getting paid to go to certain colleges.
Nah, it's always been like that anyway. It's just now more out in the open. It's like legal gambling. I don't see what's wrong with it. You want to spend your money, go spend your money. Like, you want to go be a booster for whatever school you want to participate from. Like, we're all if you like any sort of team of anything and you've ever bought any of their merchandise, you're technically a booster. But then there's other boosters that are like, no, I have a car dealership and I'm going to have this guy sign a contract for this next year that he's going to be a spokesperson for my car dealership. And I'm going to give him one of my caddies. And he's going to drive that bitch around. And he's 19 years old and he's got a $75,000 Cadillac. All paid for. Don't worry about it. Just look pretty in it. And make sure you did good on Saturday.
Money turns everything into shit.
Yeah. Well, we've already talked about that. You see, Vince McMahon at one point, I bet you, was a nice guy. Was a great guy. And then he got more.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, I tried.
You're trying, man.
I tried.
I'm the
Hold
jaded.
up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
We joke around because John is like Larry David. He's our Larry David.
Yeah, he is.
But every time I watch Curb, I think of a new instance where I become a little more Larry every day. So, I'm sorry. I will not say that's not true that Vince was never a nice guy. However, as Howard Finkel would say, I don't buy it. I think that guy was always fucking crazy.
It was always there. He was always that little evil fucking kid.
I think so. I think he was corrupted. I don't think as a little kid he woke up and was like, hey, I'm going to go fuck with someone today.
No, I'm pretty sure he learned that behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it always is. all the evil guys always have an origin story, That one night when he went to the basement and just saw something he shouldn't have saw. Changed his life forever. It's like Butterfly Effect. You ever seen Butterfly Effect, Brian?
Familiar with it. I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
God damn it. Why has nobody seen this fucking movie? It's driving me crazy. Dirk hasn't seen it. Phatty hasn't seen it.
Because it had Ashton Kutcher in it when everyone thought he was annoying from fucking 70s show and no one went to go see the movie, whether it was good or not.
The fuck, man, that movie. Man, I hate this. It's actually a really good movie. And if you can get or find the DVD extended cut or alternate cut, the alternate ending is way worse than what the regular ending was that you actually got to see. The alternate ending was really fucked up. When I saw it, I was like, what? I'm like, nah, I didn't like that one. That one made it even more of a dark movie than it already was, because every time basically he goes back in time and really just going back to his actual timeline of him as a kid, wherever he was, and at this pivotal moment, and he would just change it, and then he would make a decision instead of making it the one way he did, or how he remembered, he would make it into a different decision. But then, of course, he'd snap back into what our reality is, and those changes, obviously, the butterfly effect, the ripple, were so different, and you're just like, shit, nothing is like how he wanted it to be, because he thought he changed something for the good, and he actually didn't. But the last version of him doing it in the first movie, I don't want to spoil it, but it's bad. It's like, wow, to do what you've, and to see everything that you've done and then to erase it all is like, wow, okay. So, but yeah, it's a good movie. Fuck, man. I hate that nobody likes this movie, man. Nobody's seen it, nothing. Can't talk to anybody about this movie.
Look, I'm going to make Brian fall out his chair. Everybody's shocked when I tell them I have never seen Pulp Fiction.
God, this
I don't think I've ever seen Reservoir Dogs all the way through, so I get it.
What? Oh, I hate
Look,
both
Brian.
of you right
okay,
now.
okay. I'm going to tell you why, Brian. There's a reason behind. Maybe I'm talking about when it first came out. Okay, it's on me because I never watched it. Probably 2000 on, but like when it first came out, I was in my like 18, 19-year-old years, partying, drugs. Going to see a movie or watching a movie was the last thing I was worried about. Maybe I could have watched it later on down the road, but it wasn't on my priority list by that point. And that's why I've never watched it. I just never had time. I've seen clips, but I've never watched the whole thing. I have seen Reservoir Dogs, though.
I've seen almost every Quentin Tarantino movie. I've always liked his movies. Natural Born Killer is one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's Oliver Stone.
Is it?
Yep.
I don't know why I always think that's Quentin. Maybe
Yeah,
the
that's
Woody
Oliver
Harrelson.
Stone. I was an Oliver Stone fan. I like The Doors, even though the movie's completely fucking false, but the movie's pretty good.
That's good. That's a good movie. Val Kilmer, right?
And
Morrison?
he sung.
And he
sung all
sang.
them fucking
That was the
songs.
best part, man. It's like that was his voice. It's like, holy shit. It's like, all right.
Dude, we were just talking like 2 weeks ago about on Spitball Media about the movie Tombstone. Like we went through our 90s.
One of my all-time favorites.
Oh, that's such a great movie.
Like underrated gems. And what's funny is everyone I talk to, especially dudes, but everyone I talk to loves that fucking movie. I almost put it on my list, but I figured, this movie was probably really successful. John Draper, our co-host, puts it on his list, and we look up the box office. That movie bombed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I was super surprised by that because Shah's never seen it. Surprise, surprise. But we showed him some clips after we got done recording, and like just the Doc Holliday clips, and my God, Val Kilmer's. I don't want to say underrated or low key, but one of the low key character actors of that generation, man.
Oh, he was always great. Did you know that actual Marines and airborne Rangers watched the clip of him in Heat in the bank robbery with him and De Niro when they're leaving, and Val Kilmer's shooting and covering and ducking and ejecting the mag, putting the new mag in, boom, boom, and just doing all that? He said that is the most technically perfect scene he's ever seen. He's like, that is how you fire that weapon.
Wow.
That is how you handle that scene. That is how you do it. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, and I love Val Kilmer. I've always loved him. I liked his Batman. I've liked him in anything that he's ever been in. I think, what was it? What the hell was that science movie back in the 80s?
Real Genius.
Real Genius. That movie, I loved him in that. Like, I've loved him in everything. He's Iceman. Are you fucking kidding me? He's Iceman. He's like, what's wrong, Maverick?
Jesus. Well, you know who else did that with the guns? Right there on Fatty's arcade machine.
Oh, yeah.
Schwarzenegger. When they brought him in to use the guns, he wanted to go through actual training on how to use them, so he would look like a technically proficient, machine essentially. So, kudos to those guys who like think to that next level. Because
oh yeah,
I don't think I would.
Have you ever seen the videos of Keanu Reeves running
I was about to say him. Yeah.
Obstacle courses, the firearm training obstacle courses.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's sick.
He is
sick.
He is. Oh my God! It's like you are, and he's done so much stuff between the Matrix and all the John Wick movies that I would not want to fight him. Like, he is a person that I'm pretty sure that training that doesn't go away. That's even more than not like riding on a bike. Like, just riding a bike. No, this is much more than that. This is, I can kill you with my hands. Like, if he really wanted to. Nicest guy in the world, though. Like, he looks like the most normal dude, just kind of just like.
No, that's Alec Baldwin. He'll kill you.
Jesus Christ. But he never came off as the most nice dude in the world. He always seemed like he had a stick up his ass.
Yeah.
And I liked him in the younger years, too. He had good movies. I was a fan of The Shadow. Not a lot of people like that movie. I like The Shadow.
And I always forget he was Adam Maitland in Beetlejuice, which is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that.
Yeah.
I didn't think Beetlejuice 2 was going to happen because Jeff Jones has his issues. There's other people. Glenn Shaddix is dead. Alec Baldwin, obviously his issues, but they found a way to do it without him. So
all you need was Winona and Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
that's all you needed. You didn't need anyone else. Because I'm hoping they do it. I don't know if you were a fan of. I wasn't a fan, but like the cartoon back in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
cartoon. I hope they make their relationship like that, because I think it'd be fun where they're like friends. I don't want it to be him against her, you know. And I don't think it's gonna be that. I have this feeling
It
it's
didn't
not
look
gonna
like
be
that. If we go back to the original, at the end, it kind of looked like they were, working together. Like, that was-
They started that, and then he tried to marry her, and she was like 15. So that took a turn.
yeah, forgot
I
about
hope
that
it's
part.
where he needs her, or she needs him to do something for her. I think it'd be more better because I think it'd be more fun if it's more like structured like the cartoon was.
If it's like a buddy cop movie, Beetlejuice
Yeah.
buddy cop.
Because I thought the cartoon did a good job with that, with Lydia and Beetlejuice. And I mean, I was in my teens by that.
Like Charlie's
but it was
Angels?
good. I'm excited. I'm curious. Charlie's Angels.
Beetlejuice's Angels or Beetlejuice's Bats. What would it be? Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Beetlejuice recruits an entire team of like hot goth chicks to fight crime.
He's
That'd
on the
actually
other
be
side
pretty
of the
cool.
phone.
He's
He's telling
Bosley.
us.
They buzz him in. Hey girls, gotta go. South Chinatown. Some action going down.
Next thing you know, the Ghostbusters kick the door down.
Like the
I wasn't
crossover.
expecting this crossover.
Film noir.
See, that's actually the big bad in Frozen Empire. Y'all don't know it yet. It's going to be Beetlejuice.
No, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna come back and they bring Slimer back.
They did bring Slimer back in this one.
I thought it was a different character.
No. In this one, no. Slimer is back.
Okay.
But how's he going to be? Is he going to be like just a ghost, or is he going to be like Slimer from the real Ghostbusters cartoon, like where he was that friend?
Dude, if they don't put out a line of Ecto Cooler, I'm gonna be really pissed.
I see.
in the big can, and you got to buy the can opener to open it. I remember that shit.
No shit. I had back in the day. They used to sell these little containers of slime, and it was real Ghostbusters. That gooey shit kids like to play with. But I had one canister for about 14 years, and it was still good. All I would do is add a little water in it every couple months, and it stayed. 14 years from like I think 86, 87. I had it. No shit. And I eventually, once I got with my ex-wife, I threw it away.
That shit
probably be worth money, right? Like, dude, this is slime from 1987.
If you didn't keep it like in a fresh seal container or making sure you're checking on it periodically, that thing is just a solid little red or a solid little green ball. That's all it is.
It was purple.
Oh, it was purple?
And it was in the original container, the real Ghostbusters container.
You needed to have one that you never opened.
Back in the day, I remember they used to sell that shit in the 25-cent gumball machines.
Oh my god!
You go home, your mom would want to fucking kill you. You get that shit in the carpet.
Yeah, the carpet. I was gonna say, get it in the old shag carpet. From
So
the
much
fucking
hair.
80s. Yeah.
So much hair would be on it. Oh my god, there'd be so much hair.
We were the generation of lawn darts. Go figure.
I'm a couple years younger than you guys. How old are you, Max?
I just turned 47 a week ago today.
Okay, so I'm about 10 years younger than both of you guys. Because Phatty, you're about his age, right?
We're the same age.
Okay.
He's
So
a month
I'm
older than me.
I'm almost exactly 10 years younger than you guys, but my dad had a box in the garage, and he'd break it out every once in a while, and they were jarts, man. And my parents didn't drink a lot when I was a kid. They drink more now, but having gone through 3 boys, I can understand why. They would break out the lawn darts when the neighbors would come over, and I just thought that was normal. And now here we are 20, 25 years, 30 years later, and everyone's like, oh my God, can you believe they played with these? Yeah.
You probably find them on eBay, like people make them and shit.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Find them.
one stellar. He's
You gotta go on the
5-star.
dark web to get lawn darts.
It only takes Bitcoin.
go meet a guy behind a building in the alley. You got him.
He opens up the copes. Hey, they're all lined
These
up.
are illegal, man. You know you
Blue
can.
and red, baby. I got them all. Here you go. Let's go. Let's do this.
Oh shit. God.
Yeah, lawn darts were fun. We had a lot of dangerous fucking stuff. A lot of dangerous. I remember when slingshots was like no big deal. It's like just
They sold them on the toy aisle at like
Yeah.
K&B and the drugstores.
I used to get them
The
at
little
Woolworths.
plastic ones. They were about that big.
At Woolworths, I used to get the fucking little rocket one. It was like $10 back in the day.
The
I was
wrist
like,
rocket with the
wrist rocket
with the
with the little
support.
fuck-
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I could kill someone with this, and I'd just be playing in the backyard. See if I can hit a squirrel. Now I'm like, I look back at myself. I'm like, God damn it, you were trying to kill squirrels. The fuck's wrong with you? Like now I'm trying to avoid them. With my 2,500-pound machine that's driving 45 miles down the street, and I'm trying to avoid them now.
Oh shit!
running-
Back in the '80s, when you go to a toy store, they had that one aisle on both sides dedicated to toy guns. It was like in the Matrix ones when they loaded the guns program, and
Yeah.
it was like that. You're like, holy shit! The big Gatling guns, anything you can imagine. It's like now can't even find one.
Oh, and the crazy shit, how real
Water pistols, maybe at
like
most.
just the BB guns. Like I remember my dad had a 357 revolver BB gun that literally looked like a BB, had everything, but all it was just you took one little piece over here on the side and just opened it up, and that's where you put the BBs in, and you could load 6 at a time. But it looked like it had the chambers in it, except if you looked at it close enough, you'd be like, oh, it's all solid. There's no actual chamber, so you're like, oh, that's a BB gun. But you would look at it, I flashed it at you, you'd like, oh shit. Like, that's a big fucking gun he's got.
Well, I mean, when we were buying, at first, we were around before they started putting the orange tips on them.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then everything started and everybody just take the spray paint and just paint it over.
Mm-hmm.
No
And
one
see,
cared.
I was the generation after that. Like, I had older cousins and my older brother, so I always say I had hand-me-down 80s, and I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because and plus, you could probably attest to this, Maximus, living in the Midwest, culturally, we're like 5-6 years behind the coastal cities anyway. So we still had that shit in stores out there.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, my generation was where they started taking that shit away, and I was just going to, the Ninja Turtle toys. They used to sell, like, Ninja Stars. Can't call them Chinese stars, I guess, anymore. That's not right.
Yeah.
But they'd sell Ninja Stars with some of them, and then they had to recall them because they said kids would swallow them, and they put some other stupid toy in it. And then they wouldn't sell nunchucks.
Yep.
Which is why you don't see Michelangelo in the second movie really uses nunchucks, because they were afraid kids were going to hit each other with them and get hurt and shit. Like,
because people didn't realize how fucking hard and heavy.
But
real
to be
nunchucks
fair,
are.
we did get hit with nunchucks, but yet we lived to see another day.
With nunchucks, almost
you
cut our
did. I'm
fingers-
sure there was a kid somewhere that didn't. I mean, that's what happened.
almost cutting our fingers off with.
Well, Brian, wait, hold on. Again, I gotta reply to that. Well, Brian, you see, back in our day, you lost some, you win some, you lost some,
Darwinism.
we tried
This
to
is how it is, bro.
we tried to grab the fallen man, but sometimes people are left behind, man.
Look, bro,
You
I've
know,
almost lost a finger several times to using a butterfly knife. Okay, like I want to be cool, and I'm gonna flip this knife around, and it's like I drop it on the floor, stabs the ground, almost goes through a fucking shoe. Oh Jesus, let me put that away now. And it's like, man, but this is cool. I've seen it on the movies when he pulls up the knife, he's like, yeah, I'll stab you with it, bro.
See, we were the generations where we hit the bike ramp, and other kids would be under the ramp, and we jump over them.
That's right, jump-
We were crazy, bro.
Oh yeah,
We
physics.
lost our fucking minds,
We didn't need physics and geometry and algebra. No, we're just gonna build a ramp, bro. We're gonna build it put it at like this angle, like this. What degree is that? I don't fucking know. This is the degree. It's this degree. It's this degree. This is the degree. Because then we draw it on a piece of paper, and then we'd be able to jump. Yeah, because
structurally it may not have been good, but it got the job done.
structurally, the nails are half in. They're not even all the way in because we're 12 years old trying to actually hammer something for real, and it doesn't work out that well. It's like half the time they broke, and like somebody would get hurt. Most of the scars that I have on my body are probably from playing football in the street, or riding my bike in the street, or jumping off of ramps, or like I think I have one underneath my mustache where I was riding my bike and I was doing wheelies and shit, and zipping in and out of the fucking traffic, and my tire, and I turned, hit the manhole cover where the actual hole is, where they stick the thing in to pull it up. My tire caught that at the perfect angle. My handlebars went sideways. I went straight head over foot, and just went straight down on the ground, landed on my face.
Oh fuck!
I got run over by a cop car.
What?
On my bike. I was going into the gas station to go to Shell, and the cop came in the other way, and he's speeding in, and he just boom into me, and my front tire and my handlebars went under the front tire.
Oh my god! You'd be a millionaire if that happened today. Holy shit!
I was 12, and I got up and like, I'm okay.
Exactly.
All my shit fucked up, but I just carried my bike home like, oh, what can I do? He's a cop.
Yeah, exactly. And the cop's just like, Just saw his fucking career flash
Gary,
before his
the
eyes.
shell at Clearview in West Metairie.
Oh shit! Really?
That was before the big store. It was one
Yeah.
of those little middle stores back in the day. You know, the little store.
I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah, that shell. That's where it happened.
That's funny, bro. That show's still there. Oh my! I can see it how it happened too. I can see.
Yeah, I was coming from that back street, and he
Yeah,
came
from
in off of
Fox and all that.
Clearview.
Yeah.
And boom!
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, I'm talking about how I fell on my bike and busted my face open. He's like, I got hit by a cop car.
No,
I
no,
got
not
run
hit,
over
run
by
over.
a cop car.
Yeah, there you go. Run over.
The bike,
Jesus Christ.
the tire went over the bike wheel,
shit
and
is
it
so-
bent my handlebars.
Oh my god, we've learned some crazy things about Phatty316. Oh, in the last couple months, bro. Oh my goodness.
Every time he's driving and a cop car comes down the street, he has a flashback.
Freaks out. Like, gets a little nervous tick. Like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Woo! Every time he gets pulled over, it's like, oh no, not again.
I got
It's wild though, like telling my kids about the shit we used to do. Because like obviously we had video games and toys and stuff. But then they'll say, what did you guys do during the summer? And my kids will be like, you know, in the house and stuff. And I'm like, no, we didn't have inside. Like we were inside in the morning and then afternoon go outside, do something. And like when I got into high school, I had a buddy who had a trampoline next to a shed, like a small garage. And we discovered we could climb up on the garage and jump out of the trampoline.
I was gonna say.
Shit like that.
And there was no safety gate around the fucking trampoline.
No.
It was just a trampoline. Springs exposed. Let's do it.
Yeah, who needs the blue pad around the outside? No, that's fucked up.
I didn't know there was blue. When I saw blue pads, I was like, "What is that?" I'm like, I thought the trampoline was all trampoline and then springs on the end, and then just a metal bar that was a circle that the springs were attached to. That's it. There was no fucking padding. Now they got nets. And it's like safety. I'm like, what? They got stairs. You got stairs? You could just jump up on the trampoline. You gotta have stairs. Like,
Oh, I told Gary these stories. We were backyard wrestling before there was ever backyard wrestling.
Yep.
We
Yep.
did it all. We had Royal Rumbles where we threw motherfuckers out the house or the windows. That was the ring, the front room, and they had
Out the
windows.
window?
And they had, the windows were low to the ground. They were like this far off the ground. And we
I'm
had the
thinking
front
second
door.
story, like you chuck somebody out and
fuck this dude.
No, but we did have
He's
broken
okay.
arms and all kinds of shit. But it was like you live to fight another day.
Oh, yeah, broken fingers. That was the biggest one. Like in my neighborhood, was always the fingers. The fingers getting smashed or gnarled, or just like nobody's had straight fingers anymore. And it was just like, what happened? Like I fell. What were you doing? Something stupid, more than likely. Like I'm pretty sure we used to fight just to fight. Like let's fight. Okay, let's. We would go to somebody's backyard and just two guys just fight. Let's just fight, and we'd see what happened. And then that didn't work out for very long. That was a very once in a while kind of thing. But just because we were bored. But yeah, I remember not like I've told my daughter before that like you don't even understand like the technology that you guys have is so much like I can understand why you guys want to stay inside, not interact. That's like our technology was not that. No, it was very primitive, and it only had certain capabilities. Like I couldn't talk to my friend.
We didn't have the
cross
internet.
town.
What the hell was
Right.
the internet?
The internet.
So,
What y'all do before the internet? Go outside and do what?
The closest
Drink beer
thing
and
we
smoke
even knew,
cigarettes.
wait, the closest thing we even knew about the internet was Weird Science when he put the phone on the thing. That was the closest thing we even knew about that shit.
I could make a woman out of a Barbie doll. Like,
I'm not gonna lie and say it didn't cross my mind,
Bro,
I think every guy that watched that was like, oh, fuck.
especially if it was Kelly LeBrock.
See, I didn't appreciate her till I got older. When I was young, well, plus they had the Weird Science TV show on USA a couple years after that, and the chick they used on there was smoking hot.
That was
And then I watched
Vanessa
Kelly.
Angel.
What's that?
Yeah.
Vanessa Angel.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I thought she was hot. And then
Kingpin.
what was it? King? Oh, yeah, that's
Kingpin.
right. She is in Kingpin.
She was also in the '80s movie. I don't know if you've seen it, Spies Like Us.
Yep.
She
Yeah.
she was the pretty Russian chick that got down to her bra and panties in the snow. That was her too.
Oh. God, yeah, I had a crush on her. And then I saw Kelly LeBrock, and it's like, okay, yeah, she's attractive. I didn't really appreciate that until I got older. And she is just drop dead gorgeous. But like about the technology thing, man, we used to go out with my buddies. This is when Montel Williams and Jerry Springer were really getting popular in the mid '90s. We would line up like folding chairs or lawn chairs in my buddy's yard next to his house, and someone would be the host, and then someone would have their dad's camera, and we'd videotape us doing mock like Jerry Springer fights, and we just ad lib everything. We'd ad lib it. It's like, all right, Who are you? Oh, I'm a gay Klansman. Okay, who are you? I don't know, limping something or other. Who are you? I'm this. And then we'd sit down and we'd just riff. And then like it would always wind up in this wild brawl where we're throwing chairs and running around the house and shit. Like that's the extent of technology I had. But then I think AOL came online in 95 and I was maybe 11, 10. So I got the best of both, man. I got the best of both. I'm a day walker.
We all were at that time. Hell, I was a night walker and a day walker. I could be up 24 hours, 40 hours straight. I can't do that shit no more.
No, get the fuck out of here, bro. The funny part is I go to bed every night still around midnight. Like I don't know why, and I wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Not me. That's why y'all never see me on live chat, Brian, on Thursdays. I'm in bed by 8:45 usually.
He's an old man.
You guys get up early though, don't you?
I do.
He gets up like really early. Like I don't leave the house till like 7:30. Like I'm not trying to get up that early. Like my job will still be there. Like I don't gotta be out there before the sun. We're good. Like I'm good with the sun. We're friends. Like I'll see him when he's out there for a little while.
I appreciate every minute of my life.
You too. Yeah, I appreciate mine too. While you're asleep at 8:45, I'm still watching a show.
Well, maybe
yeah, man. Like,
go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead, buddy. It's your show, man.
It's almost past. It's almost.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Now. No, I'm up late listening to Spitball Media.
Well, thank you. No, I'm a night owl too, man, and I got to get up sometimes, not as early as you, Fatty, but being in the office a little bit early, and it's tough because like my normal clock is I probably wrap up between midnight and 2 most nights, and then I'm up by like 7:30, and I know it's gonna catch up with me someday, but I usually get about 5 hours of sleep. And
how old are the little ones?
6 and 11.
Yeah. You got a few more years. You'll be all right.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
They'll be completely self-sufficient in like a year or two. Like you'll be fine.
And that's exactly what it is though. It's because like I'll come home from work between 5 and 7 depending on the night, and then I'm with them, and then they go to bed around 9 o'clock, and then I'm like, all right, now time to get to work, and that's when I record something when I'm not working or jump on and edit some stuff for the show, like, and then and I'm done with that. Like especially if I'm working, like if I got to like bring work home with me and work on it at night, if I finish up at like 11 or midnight, well now I got to like defrag and watch a movie or Curb or. But I've been playing my son's Breath of the Wild lately. You got to do something,
I usually end up playing Call of Duty. I just jump on there for a couple hours, and everybody's like, "How do you play that kind of a violent video game?" I'm like, "Because it's not violent." I was like, "It's nothing. None of that's real." Like, I never understood when people used to say that violent video games made violent people. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like
that's been ever since the '80s when Nintendo came out.
Well, because they thought it was just the devil, And I'm like, "No, that's not true. Violent people are violent people. Violent people that." Like, people that play video games, just people that play video games. I'm like, I'm not going to go out there and go crazy. But don't get me wrong. Michael Douglas and Falling Down, I can understand. Like, at my age now, why he did what he did. Like, I get it. Like, all right. Like, you know what? That movie's not so far-fetched. He was just trying to eat a sandwich. And you want to come jump on him because he's on your turf. Well, now he's going to hit you with a bat. He's going to break your fucking kneecap. So, have fun with that.
Speaking of gaming, have you guys seen the TikTok videos of the gamer grandpa?
Mm-mm.
This dude is a 71-year-old. I'm reading it, obviously. I'm not picking this out of my ass. He's a 71-year-old retired military sniper. Or he's a veteran who plays as a sniper, and he picks off these crazy shots. Am I allowed to share?
How would I do it from you? I've never done it from another computer before.
Oh, here.
You might have that option on yours. I think it's going to ask you for.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah,
because it's gonna ask for permission.
They're not working. They don't work with computer. So what? I just hit it. There we go.
Yeah.
Look, our first chat, Gary.
It's hard to see, but this dude is shooting at people who are like hundreds of yards away, and you'll see this little tiny dot on the screen. He'll aim like an inch above him and pick him off, and this dude just starts cackling maniacally.
Is he playing? Is he playing? What's it called?
Right there on that corner.
Battlefield.
I don't know what he's playing.
Yeah, I think he's playing Battlefield. That looks like Battlefield.
I'm handicapped. Right now I have no feeling in either arm down to the fingertips. So if I was to use keyboard, I'd have to look.
Try to find the one where he's really picking people off. He's laughing his ass off. Sorry, I'm kind of fucking this up. Whoa.
Where'd that come from?
But that's what I was talking about, Gary. Seeing how he's sharing his screen with me. I was trying to get you to do it.
Oh. going to use a DMR, SBD?
Yeah, so this 70-year-old grandpa talks shit and then picks people off from like 1,000 yards away.
Yeah, he's playing Battlefield. That's a hit, yeah.
Buddy, I don't miss.
Yeah, he got him. He
Yeah,
hits
he got him. Second
headshots
shot,
from like
yeah.
200 yards away.
Yeah, second shot. That second shot hit him. He the first one you could tell he was measuring it and seeing what the lag, what the drop was.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing too with some of these like video games now. They're so realistic, like these simulators. Like I just watched a movie the other day, last weekend because I was sick, for my birthday. That was awesome, and we just stayed in bed and watched movies and Netflix and shit. But we watched that movie, Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah.
Based
Clint
off the
Eastwood?
video game.
You talking about that?
No.
Okay.
No, the video game one. No, not
Gran Torino.
yeah, not Gran
My
Turismo.
bad.
Gran
He plays
Turismo.
an old dude on the block and he just beats up.
I was about to say that's a great movie.
No, that's,
I actually
it is a
watched
great
that one.
movie. I've watched that movie. Yeah, that's a good one. But no, Gran Turismo, where it was about the video game, but what people don't realize is that video game is a video game, but the more high tech people that really play it run this racing simulation rigs, and those and these racing rigs, like it's the only difference of that is you're just not in a car, but it literally like some of them with the screens, you having 3 and 4 screens in front of you, so you basically have a 180-degree field of view of exactly what it would be like in the vehicle, and even some of them have it where the chairs part of the rig, other than just not only the paddles and the shifters and everything on the steering wheel, but the seats move and they vibrate, so you get kind of the feel for exactly what the race car is. But basically the movie is them doing that. You're racing it on your own rig, qualified, and they'll send you to a school to show you how to race real cars. And it's based off of, I think they actually did this, and it's actually based off of an actual true story, because the Japanese guy who made Gran Turismo, the video game, was, no, this is not just a video game, because it's so much detail where it's literally like when you tune a car, the same thing with this. Every single part of the car he can tune and fine tune, and these kids play this, and this is actually something that happened, and it was actually a pretty good movie. It was pretty fun. I was like, Jesus Christ!
I think
but
I had that on the original PlayStation. I want to say I did.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most popular video games ever. But the newer version ones that are the racing simulator version, it's just different. The setups you see some of these setups like that these guys have, and it's just like what? And it's like literally a small cage, just open on both ends, and you go and you sit down, and you're just in a bucket seat, and you got a shifter if you want to do a shifter, if you got the paddles on the steering wheel with all the buttons that you would actually have on the actual race car. So it's not just video game or PlayStation or Xbox buttons. It's the buttons you would actually have, kind of like they have with these people with the flight simulators.
I was just about to tell you that.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same exact thing.
It's funny that you said that, because I just told a shot of brandy that may be a future project coming very soon.
What, trying to get you a little flight
build
simulator?
how I'll build it from scratch. Me,
yeah.
I'll put it piece to piece. Make it better. But yeah, that may be a project.
No, those are fun too. But that's like the whole thing with with like 9/11. Like if they wanted to learn how to fly now, it'd be a lot easier to do something like that to learn how to fly, because of the fact that these simulators that are out there. But the thing is these rigs are so expensive and cost so much money. Hell, even F1 and NASCAR drivers right now run racing simulator rig. Like they run those, and they actually have teams that are sponsored in esports. Like
I've heard that.
And it's crazy. It's just like what? Like you're telling me that this guy that's a Formula One racer who F1, and there's only like 16 of those. There's not very many of these guys, and he actually runs racing rigs, simulators against regular guys that have never probably raced an F1 car. They don't know what it feels like to go 220 miles an hour.
Go to YouTube. You can see even like fighter pilots doing simulations. I mean, it's pretty dope.
Some of those though, especially the military ones, those simulators, those are different, because you actually go into a box. And it's this whole box, and you get the G-forces, you get the full feel of exactly what it's going to be like.
Well, no, I'm talking about self-made simulators, pilots.
Oh yeah, no, those
like something I would make. I'm not talking about Iron Eagle simulator.
Oh my God, Iron Eagle, Jesus Christ! Where's Lou Gossett Jr.? Where is he at?
But y'all ready to wrap it on up?
Oh yeah.
And Brian, we got to get you back on, my friend.
Absolutely. No, this is awesome.
I'm almost 2 hours in. I mean, I'd stay on long, but I got some things I got to do. But Brian, you got to come back on again. We'll get in some more shit, talk about some more stuff. we'll tell you about the 80s. You tell us about the 90s. You know.
Okay, that's great. Sounds like a great
with the
transaction.
kid stuff. We were teenagers in the.
We don't remember the '90s, bro. Like I remember bits and pieces. Bro. I don't know what happened. Like,
Because it was extreme.
I went to school. I think sometimes I'm not sure. I lived in a city where in the springtime there was baseball that cost $5 to get in to go watch. There's not times I didn't go to school.
Oh
look,
my
Brian,
God,
this
$5.
is what you got to look for when you get the kids out the house. You revert back.
Yeah.
You know, you revert back to the younger years. You say.
I might have texted you this. You know, we were talking about the Optimus Prime thing, and I don't want to hold you up, but
Oh no, it's fine. It's not like I'm
it made me cry, dude. I was sick that week, and I went to go pick up a prescription, and I'm waiting in line in the drive-thru, and I get this message on my phone. It's a video from what's the guy's name?
Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen. I always want to say Peter Weller. I know it's not him.
That's RoboCop.
Yeah, Peter Cullen, and like the video and the clip that you put up that you said that you're gonna take down and it's special to you. But like,
no, I wasn't putting up the audio again of him doing it.
Yeah, but it's like that you shared it with us was really fucking cool. But like as I'm hearing you tell that story and like how important it was to you, like I started tearing up. I was like legit. I'm like Jesus Christ, and I don't know if I texted it to you or John or both of you, but it was like there's something special about when you grow up and you buy yourself the shit that you wanted when you were a kid because you can finally do it. If you haven't and you're out there listening and there was always something you wanted when you were a kid, it's just a nice little surprise. So I suggest you fucking do it, man, because I don't know. Like I had a lot of shit growing up. My parents were always like, yeah, you know, Christmas and stuff. They knew what we were into, whether it was, you know, we talked about Beetlejuice, the cartoon. We had the toys and I had everything, G.I. Joes and wrestlers and Star Wars stuff. But like there's still those big things or those special things that you didn't have. And about maybe once every year I pick something up, even if it's something small. And no, man, there's something about when you make it and when you're older and you can finally do the shit that you wanted to do when you were a kid. It's like I think it's a part of maintaining that part of you and who you are. And I think that's important, man. Too many people lose that.
Well, it's crazy because I wasn't even a big collector until a couple years ago when I shout out to her. That's my fiance. She found me in an original AT-AT Walker from the line, and she kind of got me on it because she asked me one day. She's like, "What's the one thing that you never did get for Christmas that you really wanted?" And I thought about it. I was like, "Oh man, I wanted that AT-AT Walker as a kid, but I never got it." Blah blah blah. Sure enough, she found me an original. It wasn't in the greatest condition, but it was in the box. I fixed it where the guns actually light up and move again.
Oh, nice.
And for some reason, I started buying the other ships and just restoring them and was good at it. And it started with the Star Wars stuff, then the Transformers, the G.I. Joe stuff. Now, I'm not collecting, I'm not a collector where it's like Star Wars fans. They'll buy Star Wars shit just because it says Star Wars. No, I'm collecting just the vintage stuff from 80s, 70s, and that's it. And I have to put a stop on it, too. So it's like, I only got so much room in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have another house.
Yeah, right. Next time you come on, next time you come on, I'll show you the best one. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos I may have posted on Facebook of the transforming Optimus Prime. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
I think you sent it to me. Yeah.
The one that actually transforms.
Yeah, because I showed my son. My son's not huge into Transformers, but he likes Optimus Prime. And I'm like, hey, buddy, check this out. And I played the video for him. He's like, who has that? I'm like, that's a friend of mine. That's
every time people come over that know I have, they like whip him out. Like, you want to see it? You want me to show it to you? And they just trip out because it's like, that's the toy we wanted. I showed my brother the original. I'm like, it went from this to that. Why would I not want that? $800 later, but that's not the point.
Right. Couldn't afford those things back in the day. When you got, school and food, you got to feed these monsters. Yeah. I love all the kids that are here, but my God, they eat so much food.
Well, another thing I never got, which I doubt I'll ever own because I'll never have the fucking room for it, would be the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
Let's stop talking about that.
Yes, that's the toy of legend. Yes, I know.
Let's stop
yeah, don't tell John that because John wants that too.
That's the toy of legend. Everybody's like, I have it in school. No one ever could prove that they actually had it.
I've never seen one in real life.
I did. I seen it at the store. They were $99. compared to today, it's not really. I'd go get it right now.
You know what? Compared to today, $99. It's probably like that's more like what, like $500 now. Back then,
Probably, yeah.
Close. Yeah.
something like that compared to like because of inflation and whatnot.
If y'all ever want to go check out a good collection on YouTube, I'm going to wrap it up. Go to a channel called Retro Blast. That's something we didn't get into. Next time you come on, Brian, we're going to get into more about. I want to talk about the podcast or the YouTubers that I know y'all follow, like Neurotic. I've been following Neurotic for like years, since Last Jedi, and I watch all of them. I've been watching all of them for years, and I've kind of got stale on a lot of them. Maybe except Gary. He's maybe the only one I haven't. But yeah, next time we will get into that. But
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack with the Vince stuff. It just kind of
no. We never really necessarily have,
we
unless
like
we're doing our top.
Yeah,
unless we're doing our top 5 list, we don't usually have too much of a structure. But yeah, it's whatever flow. We whatever the lazy river basically. Just get the lazy river. Just sit back and be like, all right, cool.
You help us out more than you think.
Let the cooler beer float. Grab one when you want to. Yeah,
it's like,
that's cool.
Cool.
But yeah, a channel called Retro Blast.
All right.
Retro Blast. I think I've heard of him before.
Yeah, that dude collection is sick. He's got every action figure ever. I mean, like every piece that goes to all them line. I mean, Michael's his name. His collection is got to be the best collection in the world. It's incredible. Retro Blasting, yeah. That's where I learned about like restoring shit from his channel. That's how I got onto him.
Oh shit. See, I wish I was that talented because I got some broken toys that I want to fix, but I just don't know where to start.
YouTube. Okay. Everybody, there's a video for everything on YouTube. I've learned that.
I would figure that's probably what I would think too.
And eBay, if you need something on eBay, like something like go to eBay. Even if it's like a little piece that you're looking for, there'll probably be people doing like 3D prints of it. And that's what I did with a lot of those. I got a lot of 3D. I even found guys who did the decals from those ships back then. So yeah, I did decals, new parts, whatever was broken.
The internet,
everything.
man.
Even electrical. I even put lights in some of them.
Like look what you're able to do now. Where this 25 years ago you couldn't do this. Not as easy as you could now. Like you could just Google it. Just go on YouTube. There's tutorials. There's this. There's that. That wasn't back then. How are you gonna find that before?
Real quick.
Had to go some hardware store.
Now we got him started on his collection. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is one of the original. This is from the '82 collection, the Boba Fett Slave one. But what I did was, I know you can see it. I put a light in it.
Oh shit!
And I put the lights in the back of that.
Oh, nice. See, I had the one from '97 when Shadows of the Empire came out, and they re-released that. However, it was my brother's, so he took the Millennium Falcon and the Slave One. Those are at his house now, and I got to try to buy one. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Steve.
Trade him for a kid. I'm just kidding.
But let me do our plugs for everybody. Here we go. The hardest one. I can't believe this. Dirk and Mojo's Most Dastardly Adventures of Mojo. I fuck them up every week because I thought
it was just Mo Dirk City, bro. Like we agreed that we could just call them that, and they would be happy with it.
And they always get pissed. They're like, never get us right. Get everybody else right.
I tell you don't even get my name
Mojo
right
and Dirk. Mojo and Dirk, Dirk will be back next week. Of course, our friends from Spitball Media, Mr. Beep Show Brian, who joined us tonight, John Draper and Shaheen, our friends at Wrestling Soup, which is Missionary Thomas, Joey Numbers, and Kevin Castle, who's also back with Don Tony. Who else we got? We got Mr. Jeff Liftman, Chris Matthews, of course, our close friend.
Yeah, Chris Matthews.
Joe Punches, and am I missing anybody, Gary?
I don't think so. You've pretty much covered everybody, I think. I want to thank Bisho Brian for coming on the show. Good to meet you. Great talking to you. It was a great time. We definitely got to do this again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had such a good time. This was so fun. It is. But everybody out there in YouTube land, make sure you like and subscribe, rate and review, tell your mom and them, share it. Do all that good fun stuff. It helps us all out. Help support the brand. And Bisho, you got anything out there?
No. Spitball Media. I do have a YouTube channel where I focus on horror movie stuff. I haven't put anything up in a long time, and I want to get back to that when I can focus on it in a couple weeks to months. But just go to bshowbrian.com, subscribe there, and then Spitball Media. We're on YouTube. We're live every Thursday around 9 o'clock, and all the live shows are archived there for watching later. We put podcasts up everywhere you can stream. So Spitball Media. Thanks, and it was a fucking pleasure, man. Thanks.
Man.
I'm stumbling just because it was. Dude, Phatty, I have loved you for a long time. Always been a great dude.
Yeah, my friend.
Nice to meet you, Maximus. I'm sure I'll say the same about you in time.
Or you won't. It's cool. That's fine. Like, I understand. People are people, you know.
Yeah, fuck that guy. No,
it's like Phatty was awesome, but his fucking co-host is a piece of shit.
no, you guys are great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.
Mm.
Hey, at least you got to meet. Jeff didn't even get to meet none of them.
Who?
He was already gone. Jeff.
Who?
Oh yeah, that's true, man. Him.
He tells me not to say the name, and he says the name every goddamn time he gets like, look, man, you broke up with her already, okay? Like, you're with me
We
now.
talked today, man. We talked.
We're still friends, though. I'm just, you know, like, we don't like hang out or nothing. But you know.
Actually, yeah, the guy who was my former co-host is the one that got me the job where we were.
Oh shit.
So yeah.
But that was long ago. That was over a decade ago. That doesn't count no more.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
He was actually the guitarist for my our band when we were younger too. We were in a band, me and the former co-host.
Yeah. So basically, what that means is there's a lot of trauma and a lot of drama with them two because they've known each other for so long.
I can't help it. I was the talent.
And who would have thought that it would have ended badly?
Well, you know, I had a vision. I'm sorry they offered me the solo record, but you know, and
I didn't know
fucking David Lee Roth.
I know that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say he's Justin Timberlake over
I've
here.
always thought myself more as an Ozzy.
It's like, fuck you, Black Sabbath. I'm gonna do my own thing.
All right, give me this dub. Yeah,
Oh,
more
shit.
Ozzy.
Oh man.
All
All right,
right.
bro.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all next week.
Later, y'all. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.